Welcome everyone to our Tuesday night chat. This is the Coinda Community Connection. I'm Kelly Wilkins, your host from My Self-Reliance. And this is where you can find us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Let me give you a bit of the announcements before I get going. So this Thursday, we have Yana sharing with us the secret of plentiful plants. And if you haven't seen her workshop, it's online, it's 7:30 on Thursday night. It is amazing. She is tremendous. She's just a breath of fresh air, and you're gonna love what she has to learn. It's just even worth the ticket for the entertainment value. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, lots of nods. So we have that, and we also have jigsaw every morning, and it varies. This week it's 7 till 8, and next week it'll be 6:30 to 7:30. We have the jigsaw program, so you can jump on, and we spend an hour together each morning to set you up for the best day possible. And so during the jigsaw, we go through all the acronym of the letters, and we teach you how to put into place step by step. How to have a great day, turn that great day into a fabulous week, a fabulous couple of weeks into a great month. And then before you know it, the year's gone by and you're on a completely different trajectory than you were the year before. Let's not repeat that treadmill of year after year. So last announcement, and very importantly, in July, we have the summit coming up. And so if you were around last July, we had the Self-Reliance Summit, and we're getting ready for the next Self-Reliance Summit this July. Very, very exciting. So the tickets will go up for that from the 1st of June. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to dive into the detox, how to detox and stay healthy during winter. Lots of people experience the winter blues, and as the seasons change, it becomes problematic, right? So we're going to work out how we can enjoy winter. But let's have a think about where you are at right now. What are you experiencing? And on the screen, you can see this list: fatigue, depression, sleeping trouble, mood swings, weight gain, anxiety, low libido, hot flushes, joint pain, aching muscles, and they're not even the winter ones. So skin conditions. So have a think about how your body's feeling. On top of that, we've got colds and flus and cold sores and asthma and all those things. So what we're going to look at is how we can decrease these. Everything that we eat goes through our gut. Our gut is our second brain. And so when we eat, it tells the brain how to feel, how to think. It transmits neurons. So we have to look after our gut in order for our body to feel better. Now there's lots of external factors to why we feel low during winter. Lots of external factors, but I'm just going to concentrate tonight on the one thing that we can control. What's the one thing that we can control? It's what we eat. Okay, now I know this is very difficult for a lot of people and very personal, because what we eat is, very cultural sometimes. It's very based on our relationships. We know food has a lot to do with getting together. And so, because it can be quite difficult to manage what we eat, because we want to eat for relationships sometimes. Okay. But one of the external factors that we can experience is chemicals. Everything, a lot of what we eat these days are covered in chemicals, and we are putting on chemicals every day on our skin. So we're going to look at how we can detox our body with our food and with what we are using. And this sometimes 515 is this magical number. It's the average number of chemicals that people put on, or the average woman puts on their skin every single day. Okay, so these are our 6 steps. Okay, it starts with number 1. We want to decrease our toxic intake. And so this begins with looking at what are we taking into our body that's full of chemicals, and that's, you know, whether it's fast food or packet food, or however we're getting that, you know, a lot of food is even fresh fruit and vegetables have a lot more chemicals on them these days than ever was before. So we want to think about how we can decrease our toxic intake. And that's everything from, you know, washing our fruit and veg to choosing better foods. Okay, next thing is we're going to increase our nutritional absorption. Now, there is a saying that says you are what you eat. That's not entirely correct. It's what you absorb. And so some foods allow us to absorb better than others. And so one food that is stopping us from absorbing nutrients is gluten. And it's gluten and dairy actually decreases our nutritional absorption. And so they are my 2 things that I would recommend, first of all, that people start to decrease the intake. And the next thing is we're going to eliminate toxins. And now it might sound like the first 2, but what we need to do is we need to eliminate toxins by cleansing. We're going to use beautiful nutrition to actually, and herbal teas to eliminate those toxins, actually flush out our system of our toxins. The next thing is balance our blood sugar. I know I'm whizzing through these because I'm going to go back to each one in a moment. We're going to balance our blood sugar, and how we balance out, because everything, think about this. Everything that we eat either raises our blood sugar or lowers it. And everything that, like sugary foods, right, sends our blood sugar up. Now, what goes up must come down. So if you're eating lots of sugar foods, then it's going to make you feel tired. Okay, so balancing your blood sugars can be done. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Balancing your pH is really super important. So there's a scale, a pH scale. Every food is on a pH scale. Foods such as chocolate, caffeine, sugar, red meat is very acidic to the body. And your greens, lemon, limes, they're very alkalining to the body. Now, we can't just eat lettuce all day, and we can't eat all meat, because otherwise we won't balance our pH. But I'm going to show you how to do that as well. 6th thing is we need support. We need to support our gut, and we need to support each other. So I recommend that when you start out on these 6 steps to detoxing, that you don't do it alone, because it's really quite tricky to do it. And so if I said to you, this is the foods that I want you to eat to help you detox, then take a look at these. So if we eliminated foods such as dairy, gluten, soy, sugar, artificial sweeteners, coffee, alcohol, if we eliminated foods that are high in chemicals, so such as meat that is raised, like what's caged, raised, right, and that's not free range, then it's high in a lot of those chemicals that we want to avoid. White potato, corn, nitrates, MSG. So if you could follow this list and eliminate those on the eliminate list, and eat more almonds, brown rice, green teas, herbal teas, berries, non-starchy vegetables, sweet potato, free range chicken, turkey, grass-fed beef, olive oil, avocado, then you'd be really starting to eliminate those toxins and really starting to eat clean. How do you feel about that? A lot of people look at this list and go, yeah, I could do that. Yep, I already eat pretty well like that, and I include lots of those foods on my diet, and I'm really good with that. But when I first looked at this list, I went, well, what about pizza? Hang on, what do you mean I can't have a pie? And I looked at this list and went, no. I'm a mum of 4, and I have to have food that I can make quickly, and otherwise I'm never going to be able to keep to this list. I'm just going to fall off the bandwagon pretty quickly. So if you're like me, and that's can be like, how do I manage my busy schedule and eat clean, then this might be for you. I did a 30 days to healthy living program. I get all my protein, except for my red meat. I love, and meat's fine to be on the program, as you just saw. So I eliminate my gluten and I eliminate my dairy from having a vegan protein shake in the morning. My morning looks like starting actually with a herbal tea. Then I have a greens drink. And in that greens, it gives me reds, blues, and yellow vegetables and fruit to feed my all the systems of my body, of all the organs. And then I have a energy drink, which is a green tea energy drink, which balances the pH. This set got me off my sugar cravings and really helped me get onto the path of healthy living in 30 days. And actually in 2 weeks, it was like feeling different already. And I'll show you why. We've heard a lot over the last, few years about how a lot of products are filled with chemicals, they're filled with preservatives. You really need to be growing in your own backyard food, otherwise you don't know what's in them. But I love that I can get this range of food and I know exactly what's in them, and I know exactly what's not in them. So our nutrition, and all the products are vegan certified, gluten-free, non-GMO, kosher certified. There's no artificial colors or sweeteners. Our skincare has no mineral oils or parabens or phthalates, no animal byproducts. And we ban over 2,000 toxic ingredients from the whole product range, which is what I love. It beats the European standard, which used to be pretty high, but we go way above that. So you can expect that all the things that you want to avoid are just not in those products. And that makes me really happy because I don't have to search every ingredient label, and I can just be really clear that it's not going to be in there. So as I took on this a 30-day program, I increased energy and focus. I reset my metabolism, decreased the sugar load and sugar cravings, improved sleep, improved concentration, and extra byproduct, beautiful glowing skin. So these are some of the foods that are part of that set. The super greens, 36 fruits and vegetables in every serving. The gut health with prebiotics, probiotics, enzymes, that's really feeds your gut and clears that gut for that really good gut brain connection. And then the energy fizz sticks, which is help me replace the sweet sugary drinks, even help me replace any juice or any kind of junk drink that I was drinking, but not to be able to help my pH level. But not only that, because I was a person who didn't drink much water, if you don't drink and for hydration, your body's going to seize up. So this allowed me to have a lot more fluid during the day, and just have your body work well. The other thing I'll say about water, if you drink a lot of water and you still feel thirsty, it's because water doesn't combine to the molecules, and it just kind of sloshes around. So the electrolytes that feed your body and will give you more energy and more hydration than just drinking water alone. Yep. This herbal tea is the best. Before I started drinking this herbal tea, I would never like herbal teas. I always felt like I needed to add sugar to a herbal tea to make it taste any good. But I just love this herbal tea because it's got 9 key herbs in there, including peppermint, chamomile, milk thistle, fennel, licorice, parsley. It's just the combination of all of those that makes it taste really good and settles a stomach. So if you've eaten too much and then you want to have a herbal tea to settle that down, or heal an infection, it does all of that. So it's just the best. A lot of people complain of tummy bugs during winter, and this drink, the Body Cleanse, really cleanses the body of it's a detoxer. So it comes with 7 sachets, so you can have 1 a day. You drink it and you sip it throughout the day. But a lot of people, and I won't talk about this as a eating plan. People tell me that they lose weight drinking this drink, but I don't think it's about losing weight. I think it's about how you feel. So to me, gut health is all about your energy levels and how you feel, not about how much weight you're carrying. But if you are losing weight and you're happy to do that, then, that's one of the benefits as well, I guess. In my family, we like to try and put on weight. But I just love that this cleanse is a lemony drink. It tastes really good, but it really helps to cleanse the body, heal it.
Where do you get it from?
I get all of this stuff that you're seeing from the one place, and it's from Arbonne. Now, it's a not on the over the shelf product. It's only online, and I'll show you in a moment where you can get that.
Okay.
So that's the nutrition. There's a couple of other things that I love for winter that is so good for winter blues, so aches and pains, or headaches. The one that you can see on the left here called Gelée, this is a rub that I use on like your neck or your shoulders. In summertime, I use it as instead of aloe vera, it's really good for your sunburn. But in wintertime, I use it as a rub, and it's so good for disappearing aches and pains. Or if you've been standing up all day or at the gym, so good for that. And then this Inner Calm, it's a de-stress powder with ashwagandha, and ashwagandha is a known herb that's good for calming.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I want to show you is my favorite moisturizer. And this is a beautiful moisturizer for all over body. And I've always been typically really a dry skin person, but I love this moisturizer for after shower. Now, top tip: when you're showering, never shower with the warm water directly on your face, because you don't want to break your capillaries in your face. And especially in winter, we tend to want to have a hot shower because we're cold, but hot showers will dry out your skin. So try to finish a hot shower with 30 seconds of cold, and that will help to balance your skin. And finishing off with a cold shower has a lot of really good health benefits, really good for your immune system as well. Okay. So just to wrap it up, all of these products can be purchased from Arbonne. Arbonne is a company that's been around for 40 years. Before I started my self-reliance, this was the thing that I did day in and day out, was teach people about the benefits of using product that was with really great ingredient policy, that's safe and good for your family, ethical, sustainable. Where else can you find products that these days that use the best of nature? And so I'm really proud of that, because I guess my knowledge and training of Arbonne really set me up so that when COVID came along, I'm like, no, you can't try and tell me that taking a pill or a jab or, the doctors don't really understand the body and don't really understand how to really serve the body well. And when you eat right, and no doctor's going to tell you, this is how you need to eat to look after your body, but Arbonne did. And so I've always purchased my products from head to toe for the whole family, even my makeup from Arbonne, and they're really good at giving back as well. So the word Arbonne means beautiful tree. So it's all about using safe botanical ingredients. And Arbonne is a B Corp. And if you don't know what a B Corp is, it's really all about looking after the planet and people before they look at the profit. So it's really about that holistic view And I'm all about holistic, feeding body, spirit, and mind.
That's good.
So that's my presentation to you. If you want to find out more about how you can get your hands on those products, happy to share that with you. I didn't want to go into all that detail in this this presentation, but I can put a link to the website so you can check out everything they have if you're interested in that. But I know that there's a lot of people who have watching on this channel who have, looked at all different ways of detoxing and taking care of your health. So I just want to open it up now as to any thoughts that you've had watching that, or anything else that has come to mind as you were listening in.
Yeah, there's some things that you spoke about that I hadn't heard of before. I'm familiar with the gut health and stuff, but what I hadn't heard before is I knew gluten was not good for you, but I didn't know that it stops nutrition absorption. That was a new one for me. And also with the same thing with dairy, that stops nutrition absorption. That's a new one for me as well.
Yeah, the other part about dairy is that it's a known allergen. So if you know anyone who has trouble with acne, tell them straight away get off dairy, because dairy is no good for skin and acne. And a lot of babies, what do we put when mums put babies onto formula, and whey, it's really messes with your gut. So of being able to avoid dairy, if you want to. Now, I recommend when you do something like this, that if you could do a program for 30 days, it really sets you up for really good gut health. What I did is that I did it for 30 days. And at the time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to see after 30 days. I don't really have a whole lot of issues of, health that I was really worried about at the time. But I was challenged myself because I wanted to see what was on the other side of 30 days. And what I noticed was a massive difference in my sinuses, in my allergies. I used to think that having waking up with a bunch of tissues beside the bed was normal. And I got rid of all my sinus issues. I got rid of all my ulcers in my mouth. I shared this one with Emma earlier today, but I actually thought that I was going to have some kind of surgery because in my family, constipation was a thing. And I thought that was just normal. And I disappeared all those normal conditions within 2 weeks of the 30 days. I'm going to say this.
I haven't sat down.
Sorry, Katerina, I'm just going to put you on mute there. And so, but what I do now is that I only do that program a couple of times a year. So what I find now is that, it doesn't have to be like, okay, it's a program that you can do for the rest of your life, because it's just clean eating. It's not about, try to disappear. Oh, sorry, my microphone is all right. Never can you eat a pizza again. No, don't be like that. You want to be able to just have a good balance. But I think if you just do like clean out and detox, then you can go back to within, I like to help people get to an 80-20 rule. Yeah. Michael, you were going to say something.
Yeah, it's funny. It was like right back at the beginning of the thing about olive oils, because with a lot of these things you say this is good, this is bad, or whatever, but then there's like they trick us as well. So like you buy olive oil And if you get it from the supermarket, they blend in canola oils and all the vegetables anyway. Tricky bastards. So you have to buy, like, go to some little Italian thing and maybe spend 2 or 3 times as much, but then it tastes amazing, smells really good, and you can feel it straight away. But if you get it from Coles or Woolies or something, more than likely you're eating the high omega-6 ones that are, have olive oil in it, but it's not really olive oil.
Well, and we can say that about anything from the supermarket, with even our fruits and veg, right? Like, so, the fruit and vegetables that are laced so much with pesticides, and typically we think we're doing something good, eating lots of salads and but and now they're tricking us with so many things, and that's why I do like the greens powder that I showed you, because it passes the test. It doesn't have any of those GMOs or pesticides or those things, and you're getting those extra nutrients. And I know that I'm not going to spend hours in the kitchen, chopping up 36 different kinds of fruit and vegetable to get that nice round balance that we all need.
Yeah, that green powder is really, really good. Really good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you tried it. So Katerina and Michaela, did you want to say anything? Just give you the opportunity.
I love the herbal tea.
All my friends have tried different things that I've shared with you over the time. Yeah, we love the herbal tea.
And the kids love it too. So it's really yummy. And I actually let it steep for a really long time, so it gets quite strong at the end. And then I just keep putting hot water on it. Yummy.
Isn't it amazing how far it goes? I know I can get 3 or 4 cups out of it. Yeah, because it just, one bag does like so many cups. You're like, the whole family can have 1 bag each, so it lasts long.
What I usually do is just because we have one of those little metal things where you put a tea light in it. So I put the pot, like I make a big pot, and then I just pop that in there, and I just keep topping it up, and the tea light underneath is actually enough to keep that warm. And then I just leave it on the table, and every time someone, well, most of the kids, Dave is more black teas, but every time they walk past, they're like, oh. So if you have it there, like if you're looking at kids, how to get them to eat something, just put it there.
Yeah.
It's the same with like when you try the kids to eat their fruit and veggies. All I did is just chop up the carrot, put it on the table, tell them not to touch it, and then they eat it.
I love that. This is not for you. This is for someone else. Oh, I'm eating it.
Works wonders.
Oh, I always love getting my parental tips from you.
That's funny. Speaking of the pesticides on fruit and vegetables and stuff, I've heard from a couple of different sources now. I haven't tried it yet, but that washing them in bicarb soda is supposed to, because obviously we all say, oh, wash your vegetables, but what's rinsing under a bit of water really going to do if there's like chemicals penetrated? But apparently, like soaking them in bicarb soda,
yes,
seems to work. There's quite a few sources have said that. Has anyone tried that
It's better if you actually put vinegar with that, Michael.
I've heard the vinegar as well.
Yeah, put the vinegar in. It doesn't need a lot because it can, the taste can be a bit funny. Bicarb soda, and then just throw it in the sink, let it sit for a while, and it gets the wax off as well. Obviously, don't do it with bananas, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I've always used expensive fruit and veggie rinse, but now I think that's the easier way to do it, isn't it? Vinegar and bicarb soda in everything, in your, what is it, dishwasher, in your in with your fruit and everything, apparently.
Oh, you leave it open in your fridge too for the smell or something, right?
Yeah. Actually,
Can I just make a note on that, Kelly? Be careful with the seals. With vinegar, when you're doing that in your dishwasher and washing machines, it over time it actually attacks the seals because of the rubber. Yeah.
Acidic.
And don't, yeah, the acidity, and don't use 8% in that. It's too strong. You can only use like the, what is it, a 5% or 2.5%. You go any higher, your seals will be gone in a year.
Right.
I made the mistake of using vinegar in the bathroom, and it started to corrode all the grout between the tiles.
Oh,
The
right.
reacting with the grout, the vinegar.
Huh.
And
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you-
didn't know that.
You have
So
to.
did you dilute it, Andrew, or?
no, I use it straight out of the bottle. So
Oh,
that'll
okay.
kill it. Wanted to kill it good and proper, but
He killed it, all right, honey. He killed it.
yeah, the problem was it started eating away the grout.
Well, this is I've heard of this, right? It's like, well, if a little bit is good, then a lot must be very good. Maybe not in all cases.
Yeah, my slightly sidetracked, but on the vinegar, my parents' business is in hazardous materials and a lot about mold, and they have like with mold you use vinegar, but not straight. You use like 80% vinegar, 20% water, and you spray it, and then you immediately put a fan or a heater on it so it dries. Or if you're leaving it wet, then you wash it away. So it does work, but it's just leaving it to sit there, and you don't dry it or heat it or rinse it away, then it will continue going.
So many good tips coming through. Love that.
With the washing the fruit, is it the bicarb and vinegar together or two
Together.
separate washes?
No,
Two-
together.
Both together. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And what, just like sprinkle a little bit in, drop a little bit in, let it rinse in there, and then rinse it off with water? Or
Yeah, I there is a post that the guy that shares everything really fast with how to do that. I'll post it back into the group so you can see. There is a recipe, of course, with the amounts. So, I'm sure after you've done it a few times, it kind of gets to be a bit of this and a bit of that. But maybe when you're first starting off, maybe follow the recipe.
cool. It's probably better than washing vegetables to detergent like we were told to do with Corona bullshit.
That's it. Who feels like doing a detox would be good?
Then there's silence. Coffee.
I'm
There's
using
coffee
yes.
on the no list.
Emma's interested.
Yeah, so the part about, and I said about number 6 about support, I'm going to come back to you about the coffee bit, Michaela, is that it's really good to do it in a group, right? Because if you decide to make a go at changing your health, then doing it on your own without the accountability and support, you probably don't last as long. So, having when I do my 30 days, there's a whole lot of recipes and guidelines and support that you get. And, we do it together as a group. And each day there's like a little bit more learning we do around the 30 days about nutrition, because you can't know everything about nutrition before you start. So, or is it wise to use this better just to kind of little bit learn as you go, and it helps you to stay on track. The coffee, one of the things that we talk about in the jigsaw is starting our day alkaline. And a lot of people, what they first want to do first in the morning is have a coffee to be a great pick me up and get me going thing. Or some people just like a coffee for the flavor, right? I totally get it. It is very acidic. It's very acidic to your body. And so that's what the energy fizz drinks are a replacement for. If you have an energy fizz drink, then you're getting the pick me up without the downside. And so That's what I recommend. Just don't try to take something out of your routine without replacing it with something else, because that's the best way to change a habit, is not to try and, cut cold turkey, is actually just replace that habit with a better habit.
Special.
So Emma asked, what do you do if you fall off the bandwagon? That's a great question. So sometimes we feel like, I've just ruined it now because there was morning tea come and everyone was having this delicious pie, and now I've ruined it because I've had pie. And now I have to start my 30 days over again. No. We actually just, it's okay. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing good. And then just pick up the next meal and go again. And if you are replacing stuff, we don't go for perfection. We go for progress. And each day that we're making progress, our body thanks us for it. And the fun fact is that your body my body, I'm just going to say for me, my body tends to take 2 weeks until I start to see the results of the changes that I'm making. So how I'm feeling today is probably not got anything to do with what I ate today or yesterday as much as you think. It's probably got more to do with what you were eating 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's a new thought for a lot of people. All right. Katerina asked, could I please show the screen with the foods on it again? Happy to do that for you, Katerina. So I will share my screen and go back to that slide. Okay, so here's the slide with the clean eating list. Maybe I can make that bigger. Oh, I wrecked it. Sorry. Okay, so these are your main ones. Eliminating gluten. Now that's just tricky on its own, right? Because gluten is in everything. It's in white potato, it's in white flour, it's in flour's in like everything. It's in white pasta, or pasta in general. So giving up gluten for 30 days is so good for your body, because your body can then start to absorb nutrients like we talked about, but feel lighter. And a lot of the bloating that we get is not from your period, girls. It's actually from the gluten that we're eating. So bloating, gassiness, it's even been linked to Alzheimer's, and because it's a brain inhibitor as well, because it's, we're talking about that gut brain connection. The gluten is the cause of a lot of cancer and diseases. It's probably like the main, the main thing that I can say that is our modern day evil, I guess. Because if you can imagine going back 200 years ago, bread and milk was a staple meal, right? And there was so much goodness in your bread and your milk. It was so nutritious, but it's the way that it's processed today that makes it a problem. Okay, so it's not, if you could actually rewind and get the wheat that's not been GMO modified and it's not been stripped of all its nutrients, that'd be a different story.
Things
Okay.
like bread made of organic spelt and things like that cost a bit more. It's usually better, right? I mean, it's still better to cut bread out as much as possible anyway, but yeah.
Yes.
I can taste now because I only eat the breads without omega. Sorry, what do you call it? Canola oils and all that, because I just put that in everything. I
Yeah.
can taste it. Like if I go back and have whatever some of the main brands are from the supermarket, it's like this doesn't taste right. There's something just tastes fake. Doesn't taste like food.
100%. And that's what I love about this. Like mostly we eat for our taste buds. Yeah. And so our taste buds are so hyped up on sugar and salt and all those things and chemical that we actually don't even know the foods that we're tasting. And so when you can start to eliminate and detox those, you actually start to taste foods for how they really taste. And so a lot of people will start out on the program who are not used to eating a lot of greens and fruits and veg and things and not be like a fan. But once we clear out the taste buds, and the herbal tea does that brilliantly, you don't need a lot of sugar. You start to taste sugar for how it tastes, and you go, whoa, that was really sweet. I don't need much of that. Like, okay, like that's how I was. I was like, okay, I'll have a taste of a piece of cake. Now I'm done. Whereas I used to be the dessert queen. And so, the after effects are so amazing because you're like, wow, I didn't know food could taste this good. Okay, I feel like I just jumped all over the place there. Katerina, did you have any questions about anything on this list? You can take a snapshot of that if you like. Yeah, so I love that the protein shake makes it easy because that's what I have for breakfast every day. And because most people are having a breakfast that's quite heavy in gluten, whether it be toast or cereal or, or a coffee, or maybe they skip breakfast and then breakfast is like 12 o'clock, but it's still a coffee.
Oh, nice.
What do you do, Michael?
So my my internet cut out the last minute. Everyone was frozen, and I was like, "Oh, it's me." So if you freeze, I think it's you. But then if I realize everyone's frozen, I'm like, "Oh, it's me." So I didn't catch the last minute or so, and
Okay, might have been me because everyone else was quiet.
I heard you.
Okay,
no, I could see Andrew and Emma frozen with you. So that's like, oh no, it's me.
You're fine, Kelly. I heard it.
okay, lovely. Ta.
So yeah, what? Sorry, what you asked me, and I don't know what to answer.
Oh, how everyone starts breakfast. How do you start breakfast? So I said some people don't have breakfast until midday, and then it's a coffee.
Yeah, I'm at the moment I am doing a lot of intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
And sometimes 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day, and basically no snacking. Or if I do, like what do you call it? Like nuts, but the fatty nuts like macadamias or pecans being the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a coffee, but I put in ashwagandha. I got some ashwagandha to add to it, and I just have less coffee than I used to have, and just don't have it every day. But I'm not going to give up on it. Like,
okay, I'm going to give you a little trick, a little tip that you can do, because I'm glad you're adding your ashwagandha, because that's really good for you calming. Because coffee can raise your blood sugar levels, and then it can, mess with your adrenals. So you're actually trying to offset the one with the other. But if you want to lower your blood sugar levels, then this little packet here, and however you get it, this is Fiber Boost. Now, adding fiber to your diet will lower your blood sugar levels. So if I say to my kids, okay, I'll let you have a Slurpee, or I'll let you have some ice cream, I'll add in a scoop of Fiber Boost, which is a white powder, non-flavored. They don't even notice that it's in there. And I stir it into their sugary drink. Well, it turns it from a high GI to a low GI, and it stops them from bouncing off the walls.
Wow.
So that's my tip to you. And how to get anything to be a low GI, add fiber.
Okay, cool. So you spike your kids' food. That's good.
Yes. and because this the greens powder is high in fiber, because fruits and veg are naturally high in fiber, then that's also a really good way to get the fiber in. I actually will give my kids or start them off having the greens powder in fruit juice, because for that very reason, if a bought fruit juice is high in sugars, then the fiber in the greens is going to lower that that to a low GI as well. And then it just tastes like they're drinking juice, and they don't notice it's green unless they're looking at it, and then but it helps them to get their fruits and veg in.
Nice. I forgot to say, I have before I have the coffee, I have bone broth, and I do have NAC and spirulina.
Yes, very good. Wow, I'm impressed. Well done. Yeah, bone broth is brilliant. And how are you having? Are you just putting in powder? Is it powder form?
No, give me 2 seconds.
Let me stop share so you can show us.
It's easier than explaining. It's like probiotic bone broth, and it's biofermented, and it's also got turmeric, lemon, myrtle, and it's it's grass fed.
You just put like a teaspoon of that into hot water?
Exactly. I tried it with the coffee, and that tasted really weird, so I do it separately. But I'll try everything once.
See, look how you're having now. You're having several liquid forms of food, right? And that's really good for you, because you're finding ways of drinking more and getting that hydration whilst you're nourishing your body, and that's excellent. 5 stars.
So how is that going to work for a vegetarian?
I don't know how bone broth works for vegetarian, but on the foods that I showed you, it's all vegetarian. It's all vegan. Yeah. And that's what I love about it too, because you're getting a vegan source of protein, and from brown rice, cranberry, and yellow pea proteins, which is a really great source of proteins, because it's like varying release of protein. What else is really good about vegan protein is that if you can imagine eating a steak and then going for a run, it's going to make you sick, right? Because what the body has to do, if you're eating meat, it needs to digest. And so you need to rest after you've eaten meat, and you also need to hydrate. So with this protein shake, you could have it first thing in the morning. Because it's vegan, you could go do a boot camp, and it's going to give you energy, and you're not going to feel sick, because it's not drawing blood from the body's extremities to try to break down the meat. So yeah, we love that protein shake for any time of the day. And if you want to sleep well at night, protein before you go to bed helps you to sleep well. So vegan protein is going to be better because it's going to allow you to rest and not have to work too hard while you're sleeping.
I've never had a piece of steak in my life, so I wouldn't know what that feels like. My protein is like cheese, cheese and bit more cheese.
Right. And cheese, yeah. I'm not going to go there. You can, if you can, eggs is a good protein. Do you have eggs, Michaela?
I've got 4 girls. They're not too happy at the moment. We're not getting 4 eggs. They're molting, so the ladies are taking a break.
Right. Maybe that's what's happening all around the world with the egg shortages. Yeah.
Oh, it's our season. It's getting cold. So the ladies are they look a bit funny. They're dropping all their feathers. So all their energy needs to go into growing new feathers for winter. So they look a bit weird. we get an egg a day at the moment.
Yeah.
Keeps the doctor away.
Keeps it. Well, Emma and I are going to talk more about how we can start our 30 days to healthy living, because we're not going to do it alone. We're gonna kickstart it, because I feel like this lead up to winter is kind of been tough on me, and I'm wondering if it's because after Easter I got stuck into the chocolate, and my body is telling me no on the chocolate, except what that's like. It's like it becomes more than, and I'm only eating like a square or a couple of squares a day. It's not like a block, but it's too much for me. I have to cut back on that. So yes, let's do it together. And the Easter hot cross buns, yeah, that'll do it. So beautiful. Well, is there anything else anyone wants to share?
No, thank you very much for that. That was really good. That was really interesting.
Beautiful. Thanks for
I have a
being here.
question, Kelly,
Yes.
probably for Simon, actually. It's to do with the fish, because he's the fisherman.
Yes.
What's safest fish to eat?
Oh, yes. Okay, because we want to avoid farmed fish. So you want to eat yes, cold fish,
Wild caught.
wild caught. Thank you very much.
That's
Yeah.
very hard to get.
Yes.
Avoid
you're-
fish down towards Bateman's Bay, down near Port Kembla.
Yeah.
Get fish from up north.
Yeah,
That's not farmed.
there's certain types of fish that are less prone to collecting like heavy metals and stuff than, I think it's the predator fish are the ones that accumulate heavy metals, because they're eating all the small fish.
Well, unfortunately, yes, you don't want the bottom feeders, but I don't know which is the right fish. I would, they always said salmon was a good, healthy fish, but
Wild caught.
as long as you're not getting it from Tasmania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Canada.
But I don't know which is the best fish anymore, because Simon likes to catch trout, but that's just because he likes the sport of it, not the health of it.
What wild caught salmon is, what makes it the best though, is the healthy fats and omega-3s in it.
Omegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If it's farmed, then you're getting all the antibiotics and all sorts.
Yeah.
I don't know where you could get it in Australia.
Well, he'll catch a salmon when he goes down to Jindabyne and he's fishing for trout, and sometimes he'll catch a salmon.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
if you want fish, you have to get it yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
most of our fish in the freezer is hand caught. at the
Wow.
moment,
That's awesome.
if you like that kind of thing. Mm. Once its head is gone, I'm happy.
I'll take the heads.
Okay. Very cool. Always lots of fun, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see everyone.
Thanks,
Good to see you
Kelly.
all again.
All right. And I'll stop recording now. See you again next week.